The queen could feel her nails digging into her palms.
How could you leave him like this? My father was hand to 3 kings, as great a man as ever strode the 7 kingdoms. The bells must ring for him as they rang for Robert. He must be bathed and dressed as befits his stature, in ermine and cloth of gold and crimson silk. Where is Pycelle? Where is Pycelle?
She turned to the guardsmen.
Puckins, bring Grand Maester Pycelle. He must see to Lord Tywin.
He has seen him, your grace, said Puckins.
He came and saw and went to summon the Silent Sisters. They sent for me last?
The realization made her almost too angry for words.
And Pycelle runs off to send a message rather than soil his soft, wrinkled hands? The man is useless. Find Maester Balabar, she commanded. Find Maester Franklin, any of them.
Puckins and Short-Ear ran to obey.
Where is my brother?
Down the tunnel. There's a shaft with iron rungs set in the stone. Sir Jaime went to see how deep it goes.
He has only one hand.
She wanted to shout at them.
One of you should have gone. He has no business climbing ladders. The men who murdered father might be down there waiting for him.
Her twin had always been too rash, and it would seem that even losing a hand had not taught him caution. She was about to command the guards to go down after him and bring him back when Puckins and Short-Ear returned, with a gray-haired man between them.
Your Grace,
said Short-Ear.
This here claims he was a maester.
The man bowed low.
How may I serve your grace?
His face was vaguely familiar, though Cersei could not place him.
Old, but not as old as Pycelle. This one has some strength in him still.
He was tall and slightly stooped, with crinkles around his bold blue eyes.
You wear no maester's chain. It was taken from me. My name is Qyburn, if you please, your grace. I treated your brother's hand.
His stump, you mean? She remembered now. He had come with Jaime from Harrenhal.
I could not save Sir Jaime's hand, it is true. My art saved his arm, however, mayhaps his very life. The Citadel took my chain, but they could not take my knowledge.
Qyburn, Qyburn. You know him, you love him. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce his name. He is certainly one of the darkest characters in A Song of Ice and Fire, right up there with names like the Tickler and Ramsay Bolton. However, unlike the Tickler and Ramsay Bolton, there's a lot of speculation around what Qyburn is actually doing, because while we're shown some pretty graphic tidbits, we're not really shown that much about Qyburn's most intriguing endeavor, which is, of course, the work he's doing with Sir Gregor's body. And so I thought maybe I'd pop in here and offer up a little thought that I had the other day, because even though it might be kind of 10, it's still kind of fun. But first, a shout out to these fine people here for sponsoring today's episode. Hawk, Datura LaCroix, and the Interesting Nerd Club. And if you'd like to join them and see your name here in the videos, you can head over to Patreon, where all the early releases, extras, and cat pictures are at. And one more bit of very cool news, I received in my email the other day this channel fan art. And so I wanted to give a quick shout out to the artist. Their email handle is Tibstabs. I don't know what their name is here on YouTube, but you can check out their DeviantArt page, which I've linked below. And of course, big shout out to the original designer of the random internet guy Sigil, Yggdrasil, here on YouTube. You can also find their Instagram information linked below. So please, go check out their stuff whenever you can, give them lots of love, and support their work. So, as previously stated, we actually get a fair amount of Qyburn time in the books, but we don't get too much time with Qyburn next to Sir Gregor's body, like, while he's doing things. And thus arises the mystery. What is he doing to that bod? So, let's start off with the head, because that's as good a place to start as any. And there are really only two interpretations about Sir Gregor's head. Qyburn either chopped it off and had the beetles clean it, and the story he's telling Cersei and the thing they're passing on the Dornish is 100% true.
Or he did not take off the head, and Surgor's head is still attached to his body, and they've swapped out a different head or a giant skull or something. You know, there's a bit of speculation, but we basically have those two avenues. He either cut the head off, or he did not. Now, personally, I lean towards not, because even in the world of Ice and Fire, it's in a little bit of a stretch, I would think, to believe that you could actually bring someone back to life whose head had been literally chopped off. And like, what head would you swap in, and how would the brain still be alive? This seems to me more like the extreme end of sci-fi or magic, where you'd need like really drastic, potent things that, even within the world of Ice and Fire, probably don't readily exist. At least not for Qyburn in the Red Keep. Now, this is obviously just my speculation versus other speculation, but when Qyburn tells us about his skills, he compares himself to Ebros, I believe, and he says that he knows more than Ebros. And as far as we know, Ebros doesn't know how to put people's heads back on. He's just like really, really well versed in what might even be considered like much more modern medicine than we would associate with our own like high Middle Ages. So like, at least for me, it stands to reason that Qyburn is probably a pretty damn good doctor and surgeon, but he wouldn't have the capacity to do everything probably that a modern surgeon could do. And even with modern day surgery, I don't know how many different people's heads have ever been swapped onto other bodies and had a confirmed success. I think it's 0. I did look it up because I figured it would have been massive news and I would have heard about it, but who knows? And the internet also seems to think that this hasn't so far been possible for human beings. Well, shut the fuck up, random internet guy. You just love to kill the fun. You hate all the good theories. You don't even want Manspreader to be Arthur Dane. Why should we take anything we have to say seriously? Well, I don't know. You probably shouldn't. It's just an Ice and Fire video. But surgeons in our modern era, assuming Qyburn has skills like that, are capable of some pretty intense feats. Even the feat of keeping someone in Surgor's position alive. At least I would think so. Modern medicine has resulted in some pretty miraculous things when it comes to saving people from being poisoned or toxified. Modern medicine has also come an extraordinarily long way when it comes to replacing organs. So if Qyburn had anything along the lines of the capacity a modern doctor had in terms of knowledge, if not quite even in technology, he might be able to do some of the things to Surgor that would seem impossible. Okay, so he didn't get his head chopped off, and he's still dying of the poison. So what the fuck is Qyburn doing to save him? Well, that's when we get into some other kind of little disputes here. Some people would argue that there's magic involved, as well as this magisterial surgical knowledge. And other people might argue, myself in that camp, that maybe he's doing it all entirely without magical powers, and he's using the word magic, you know, basically to make himself seem more mysterious. So, for example, I believe he tells the small council, and Pycella's there, that the poison had been thickened with some kind of magic that was stopping it from reaching Surgor's heart. Who's verifying this? Can we get a second opinion here? Can we get another doctor to come explain the magic to us? Can I get a chart, please, that shows us the ratios of magic to poison in Surgor's body? Can I get a readout sheet of this? Like, is there any way for us to believe that this isn't total bullshit? Alright, random internet guy, you fancy skeptical motherfucker, you. Well then, what are you proposing? You're proposing he's just doing, like, organ transplants and blood transfusions, using the victims he's getting Cersei to give him? Yeah, actually, that's kind of what I think is going on. I think that Qyburn might be replacing organs and swapping them out if they get rejected, and he's maybe giving him some kind of primitive blood transfusions. How would he be accomplishing all of this without, like, hypodermic needles and plastic tubes and all kinds of stuff like that? Maybe glass and metal tubes? Maybe he's got some way of producing needles with holes with them. Maybe he's using snake fangs. I don't know. But I think it's relatively within the realm of possibility that what we're seeing, or rather not seeing, Qyburn perform is relatively advanced modern medicine, but not sci-fi head-swapping medicine. Now this obviously makes it pretty dark when we think about how Qyburn explains why he needs new victims to Cersei, claiming that the girls he's used have been exhausted. I wonder if that means all their blood was drained, or their livers or kidneys were used up filtering poisons. I know a lot of people have come to think of Qyburn as like a Dr. Frankenstein, capable of performing beyond medical miracles, capable of taking off heads and replacing them and bringing them back to life with, like, I don't know, electricity or something. But maybe that's not what he's doing. Maybe he's doing something a little bit more practical, while still far beyond the reaches of real-world medicine, of a near-equivocal technological or time period level. And so, there you go, kind of a little short video with the weird Qyburn theory. Don't know if this one was already floating around out there before, but I was just thinking on it, so I thought it'd be kind of a fun little video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to like and comment and all that good YouTube stuff, and please come check out the Patreon. You'll be able to see videos like this in early access, and you'll be able to access other fun stuff. So, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.